Well, good day, everybody. And how is everybody going in this beautiful world today? Well, it is cold. I just checked the temperature here in Grafton and it's 14.9. And I checked mine out in the fridge, it was 14 degrees. So it's cold. And another thing that I think I knew, but I've learned a lot more lately about it, is that Australia has more snow than the Swiss Alps. That is mind-boggling. It is snowing like blazes down in the snowfields down Victoria. I think it's Thredbo, Mount Buller, I don't know. But it is snowing like blazes. It is cold. This place is cold. Getting out of bed of a morning is so hard. Yesterday I got up, had breakfast. I only got up because I'm morning medication. I had to bring Archie out to where I put him over daytime. Breakfast, I went back to bed. I was laying here, then I heard someone's knocking, so I had to get up. Got out. The landlord was just about to leave. He actually had come to measure the fireplace, so he's going to cover it up for me. And he also asked him, was he going to Bunnings? He said, yes. I said, I need a light globe for the bathroom. He said, where? I said, here. I tried Big W, Coles, Woolies. There was also another lighting place here in Grafton I tried, but they didn't have any. So I asked, he said, he'll get it. I said, I'll reimburse you. He said, no, don't worry about it. I said, good. I said, another thing. I said, could you change that light? The ceilings in this place are high. I can change the light bulb in the bathroom and the laundry. The one outside the front door is I just can't reach it. I shouldn't really step on the ladder because I'm too heavy. But I did try, but I couldn't do it. Then when he was here yesterday, or was it Thursday, oh whatever, he tried and he couldn't reach it. So when he comes around to fix the fireplace up for me, he's going to change that for me. This week's mug is this one. I decided this one because this is a special one. It's even got my name on the bottom. I got this from where I used to volunteer at Waratah and Coffs Harbour. I don't know if it was International Volunteers Day or National Volunteers Week. But these were made by, we were making these. We painted, I didn't know what was going on. They had all these mugs and the clients and the volunteers sitting down wall painting them. Had no idea what they'd do it until the day had come for them to hand them out and we got a mug. I don't use this because it's a bit small and you paint them and you chuck them in the oven to cook them so that it stays. And I really like that. As I said, I don't use it because it's a bit mud. Maybe I might use it one day, I don't know. Out of them, all the mugs I've got, I have got 1, 2, 3 of them that were given to me. This is one of them. There's 2 other ones which you'll see on down the track. I come to get ready to do it and I thought, oh, what mug have I got to have this week? I went in, I was going to do this one. I thought, no, I'll do this one because it is a special mug. And got my name on the bottom. Now I've got my list for this week. Archie is outside having a ball. I went shopping. I usually go shopping Tuesdays, but I had to go Wednesday because I had to go see my doctor about this lump. I know it's a cyst. Just had to get something to help it. Because it's swollen and bloody and I don't know, it's all red and inflamed. So I got some medication for that. And I had to get some slippers, and I realised this morning I should have got two pairs. One to wear inside and the other to wear outside. So when I go again next week one day, I know because I'm going to need tea bags. I forgot to get tea bags. I'm having about 3 cups a day. I will have, I have one at lunchtime, then I have afternoon tea, then I will have one at night, or maybe 2, 3 a day. Just lucky I've got all these mugs. I have warmed up a bit because I've done the washing up and it's warmed me up. And yeah, I had got Jane with me today. Jane is the Anna kit by Pat Moulton from Bountiful Baby. She is actually a twin to my Ruby, the same kit. And I didn't realise that. And she's also created by Margaret Marsh. When I didn't realise, even when I got her, I didn't realise she was the same kit. But I was over at the plaza. It was a Sunday. I think it was International Bereaved Mother's Day. And I was over at the plaza having lunch. And I had Ruby and I had Jane. And I was looking at them. I was like, they all look the same. Took the booties off. They look the same. I thought, what's going on here? They look similar. So when I got home, I asked the lady next day, I said, do you think these two kits are the same? And the way she handles the dolls, I thought, oh, my baby. Exactly the same kit. She's not a heavy baby. She's only a light baby. But she's one of my babies. Jane, the name is my great-grandmother's name. And I knew my great-grandmother. She died in 1983. She was born in 1983. I think she was born, I think it was July, her birthday. I think she died about February, March. So she never wanted to live to be 100. She lived at home until 2 weeks before she died. She died of a massive heart attack. I'm not quite sure why she went to hospital. I wasn't knowing to find out because her daughter is no longer with us. Don't know where her granddaughter is. Don't know where she is. The last I heard, she was in Sydney somewhere. I know I went onto a group a while back on the Sydney group and asked if someone no one come around. But the sad part was Dad wasn't really into one to go and to visit relatives. Because Thelma, she's my half-great auntie. She lived in Tweed Heads for a long... as soon as Ma died in 1983, Thelma moved to Tweed Heads because it's always wanted to get away, but she was held back because of her mum. And Dad never went to visit her, Thelma. Even when Thelma was put into a hostel up there, when she had, let me get her muddled. Thelma was married to Jack. Jack was an amazing man. I remember I went down there in, I think it was 75 I went down. Nana and Pop went down to Sydney every year because they got a free trip every year on the train. And I was working in Mooloolaba and I was living with them. And they were going down. And because I was working, they rang the boss and say, could I have the week off? They had the week off, went down. And I think, remember Ma used to always come up. Ma used to come up once a week. Ma had married a second time. Her first husband was my grandfather's father. She was not Ma was a devious person. Ma wanted to marry, she wanted to marry this guy who was older than her father. I can't remember, they're the same age or older. I think Patrick Michael, if I remember right, Patrick Michael was born in 1855. Ma in 1883. So that's almost 20, is it? Let me see. Was he 55? I can't remember, but Patrick Michael was a lot older than Ma. And her father, James Tuck, did not want Ma to marry him because of his age. So she wanted to marry him so much, so she went and got pregnant by him. So then she had to get married. But Ma had, let me see, Ma and Patrick Michael had, let me see, 5 kids. My grandfather was the eldest. Grandfather was the eldest. He was born down in Clarencetown in the Hunter Valley. Then some reason they moved up to Queensland to a place called Gatton, and she had another 2 babies up there, Charles and I think it was Monica, or was it Mona? Might have been Mona. But they died in infants. They were only babies when they died. I went up to Gatton one year for a holiday, and they actually had been in contact with the council about where they were buried, because I wanted to go and visit their grave. And when I got to the council this day to find out where they were buried, he said they couldn't find one of them where they were buried because they had no record. I don't know, but they had the other one, I think. There was no headstone for the one they had record of. Yeah. Just a note, I usually turn my sound off and my net off while I'm going here, but just to comment on something. And there's another reason why I actually stayed at Toowoomba, which is just a bit further inland than Gatton. And the reason I also went to Toowoomba is that I also had an ancestor who was buried there. And before I went up, again, I was in contact with the cemetery and emailing, and they told me that this ancestor, I can't remember her name, but she was on Pop's side, Dad's side. She actually died a pauper. So when I told a relative up near Moreland, Bray Park, that I was going up, so her husband actually made a cross to put at her grave. And I was told that there was 2 people buried in that grave, because that's what they do with paupers. She was only 30. She was in a mental institution at Toowoomba. She had a goiter. I'm not quite sure what that is. But that dementia, I think it's something to do with dementia. I should have checked up, but this is just coming out because of Jane. And I found her grave, and I wish I had taken a hammer. And the guy at the cemetery was really nice. He showed me where the grave was. He showed me which way she would be facing. And he left me. And I wish I had a hammer, because the ground was so hard to put this cross in there. And I don't know if it's still there. That's going back. I can't remember when I was up there. I know I was working at Kingshaven Hostel when I went up there. I can't remember when it was now. I remember I hired a car, like always, and I actually, wait a minute, I had a little sports car, but the only problem was the sports car didn't have a radio. So I had to sing all the way up, and I was at Kingscliff, and going from Kingscliff to Toowoomba, 5 hours maybe. 5 hours, I think it was. Just cleaning my glasses. I really don't like these glasses. I feel cheap. But they do their job. There. Now, I've got a list. I know I made a list last week, and after I went to finish my video, I went to my computer and I found the book, my list. Sorry about the back. The thing I usually hang my background thing on, it's out near the fireplace. I'm trying to keep the cold out as much as I can until it gets fixed. One of the things that was on the list I didn't remember was we have a show in Australia called Bondi Rescue. I don't think it's still being filmed, but it used to be on TV, and it gets replayed again. And I was watching one week before last, and there was these. They had a lot of people come over who never been to surf before, and they go out in the surf and they don't swim. They don't know to swim between the flags, and they had to rescue these 3 Asian girls, young girls, maybe 10, 12, something like that. And they come back, and the Bondi Life say Bondi Beach is in Sydney. It's supposed to be I've actually been there when I was in Sydney years ago. Sometimes I see things. I don't know. And these surf rescue guys, lifeguards, they do such an amazing job. They're there, I don't know how long they're there. They're all till sun up, till sundown. And even Christmas Day there, they work. Boxing Day, all the way through, they work all the summer. Anyway, these are 3 young Asian girls. They actually had to be rescued because they got caught in a rip and they were outside the flags. And when the lifeguards took them back to the mother, it's like she didn't seem to worry or something. And he was down in front of her. He was actually explaining to her what was going on and everything. Okay, then the girls were speaking in their language and they had subtitles. And when they were walking away, they were going, the girls, these 3 young girls said, in the language, said, "Them foreigners are all staring at us." I thought, they're not foreigners, you're the foreigner. If you go to another country, you're classified as the foreigner. Not us, we're not foreigners, we're in our own country, you are the foreigner. I thought, what? Maybe because I don't know if I know they're Asian, I don't know if they're Chinese or Japanese or whatever, they're Asian anyway. And it's another distance, maybe just the way she was, I don't know. That was Bondi Rescue. It is a good show. I enjoy it because these guys put a lot of effort into it to save people lives and to instruct and to teach them not to actually to swim between the flags. They get people from other countries going, they go, especially the Muslims, they go in fully clothed and these lifesavers have got to go in there and rescue them. People don't think. I got itchy eye. But I watched it, was it yesterday, the day before? This one guy come up to the tower and said he was bitten by a shark. He had all these gashes on his arm, said he was bitten by a shark. I remember. Then I thought, oh no, I thought it wasn't a shark. He had them gone, that was a shark. He said he got bitten the night before, he went home and all this and that. Found it went into papers, it was all around the world, everything. The guy was attacked by a shark. What happened was he had broken through a window in Hobart in Tasmania and cut his arm and he blamed a shark. Oh, that was that. Another thing, prisoner. Very sad. I knew it was coming. I think it was Monday night I was watching it and it was about 7:30. I thought, oh, I've got another 3 episodes. I'll have a shower and come back and watch the rest after this episode. Then once the episode finished, oh, that was the end. Then I realised I missed some of it. So the next day I got up and I watched the last episode again. And I am so glad that I did. Because there was some part of it that I missed out and it was an amazing. Sally, if you're watching, did you remember Prisoner? Remember the freak? Well, in this last episode, one of the characters in it was dying of cancer. And she got on really, because this freak would take it to her chemo and everything, and they got real pally-wally, and this character, the prisoner, said she knew what $250,000 was, she knew where it was, she knew the combination to the safe, she knew all this. But she needs someone to help to actually get it out of the building, because she was going to break in this prisoner and hide it in the toilets, and she wanted someone to go in and get it. So in the end, Freak wasn't going to do it. Then in the end she said, yeah, she'd do it. So this character, what's her name? Rita. Freak, that's what they called the Freak. Sarah, what's her name? Ferguson. Joan Ferguson. She said she actually helped Rita escape, get out. And of course, how long later she arranged alarm that she escaped. And Rita went and actually she did what she had to do, and she hid the money, the sack, in a certain place in the ladies' loo. And I wonder why she threw a chair out the window, which will come in later. Well, the next morning she was going to go, Ferguson was going to go and get some money, but she got so far to the bank and she couldn't do it. She couldn't go in, she couldn't do it, so she didn't do it. So she come back to the work, and she actually said that, told Rita that, sorry, she couldn't go through with it. So then, it's been a long time since I've seen Prisoner. And what happened then? Rita got really worse with her cancer because she escaped and come back. She was worse and everything. So she got really sick. The next day, Ferguson turned up for work, and the cops pulled her up and talking to her about the robbery, and I talked to Rita, because I knew Rita was the one who actually broke in and had this money. So when the cops told her, they can't talk to Rita again because Rita had died that morning at 2 a.m. And yeah, and I thought, oh my God, she died earlier than what the doctors thought. So she went in work, and they said, talking about sad and that. Then she decided that she was going to do it. So she told the deputy governor that she'd got a dentist appointment, that she'd probably a couple of hours. And then, oh yeah, okay. So she went off, she went to the bank, was going to actually, pretending she was filling out a form for a loan, and she was watching the ladies' loo. So she went in and got it. And as she was walking out the front door of the bank, the cops got her. And she was arrested. And the funny part was that they took her back to Wentworth, where she worked. And when she realised where she was going, she was screaming. She didn't want to go back there. No way, because everybody in that jail hated her. So they put her in. They usually solitary. When a new prisoner comes in, they put them in solitary for 24 hours, but they didn't put her in there. They put her in another cell, so she was two locked gates away from the other in case they could get to her. And then she looked, and the bed in the room was not a normal bed. So they knew she was coming. I thought, okay, Rita must have told them, I don't know. Then when I watched it again, I realised what happened. It was time for tea time, so they brought in the meal. When Ferguson turned around to see who was bringing the meal in, it was Rita, the one who was supposed to have died. So what it turned out to be, it was all a setup to catch a Ferguson in something to get her caught, because she was always breaking the law. She would bash them. She would bring in drugs, alcohol. She's saying she's always going by the book. And I am so glad that I watched it. There was on the thing it had 8 seasons, and in the last, I think it was more than 8 seasons, because the last season had 104 episodes. And I can't remember how often it was shown on TV. maybe I should have done a search to see when it was shown on, how long it was shown on TV, but there was only 8 seasons. So I had finished with Prisoner. Will I watch it again? I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It took me weeks to watch it. And I feel also mentally it was actually affecting me because of what was going on, but I am glad I watched it. I did have a break. I'd watch ER, love ER, and it's sad at the moment because Dr. Green, he's had his tumour, and Lucy died the other week, so I'm onto that. I'm also, what else am I watching? What is it? 9 Perfect Strangers. I started watching that yesterday. It's got Nicole Kidman, and there's also an Aussie actress in it. And also Melissa McCarthy's in it. And it's interesting. So the 9 Perfect Strangers, it's like they've gone to some kind of retreat. I watched the first 2 episodes. I will watch the other some later. I think there's 9 episodes in this first one. There's going to be a second series. I'm watching this on Soap Today, which is a free, don't need to pay for it, and you don't even need to create an account unless you want to save favourites. I've saved a lot of favourites. I don't know how many favourites I've saved. But this is one. But when I watch them, I actually, when I watch a much I want for the day, I actually bookmark the next episode. And yeah, it's good. What I was going to do, move my lounge room into here, my lounge room and my bedroom into one room. It's big enough, but then I wouldn't have an aerial. I'll have to get a real long extension lead for my aerial for it to come in here, and I don't think it'd be worth it. If I brought my TV, it'd be big enough. Move the bed around a bit and big enough for a lounge room. Because it's warmer at this time of day. It is warmer. Mornings are cold. This place is cold. I had to go out, and when I went out on Wednesday, I actually had my flannelette shirt, which I only used to wear all the time, and a little white sleeve jumper, which I've had for yonks. I've had it for over 20 years, this little jumper. I brought it when I was working up at Kingshaven. Just a little short sleeve jumper, just to work. And of course I was going straight to the doctor. I didn't want to have to walk because it's a long way, and we quicker walking down Village Street. That Village Street does not have a footpath, and I don't know when they're going to get one. I emailed the council and I complained about it. They said, oh, we don't. It is high priority, you know that word, but it's not going to be done until the 2022 to 2030 budget. And I said, it's dangerous, you know, especially when it's wet. The mud gets, the water just hangs there. It gets all muddy and soft, just like in my yard here. And it's dangerous. I would walk down that street to the shops if we had a footpath. I walked there once because when I had to go to the real estate to sign my postal vote. That's Prisoner. I really enjoyed that. This one. Archie, but back in February, I decided to get Archie a bathtub. So I went on to eBay. I ordered one. Okay, I think it was a blue one I ordered. So I ordered that. Waiting for the next thing, I got a message from the seller saying that Australia Post returned it. I thought, what's going on here? No, actually, I got a refund. I thought, what? And the seller said that Australia Post returned it. I thought, what for? There was no reason why they returned it. Couldn't understand. So I waited a while. Then I ordered another one. I ordered the next one at the end of March. That never turned up. It waited. I think I waited a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. It never turned up. So I contacted the seller. He gave me a refund. So that was, I said, okay. So I thought I'll get a bath. So I went on to, I think it was Pet Balm, and got a bath. And I got it, but I don't like it. It's not very big. I know budgies aren't big, but to get them in a good swim. I thought getting cold. Then the other night, I think it was about, I don't know what time it was, I got an email from the Australia Post saying my parcel will be delivered sometime from the 14th to the 17th. I said, what parcel? I thought, what on earth parcel did I get? It was from eBay. I went on to eBay, thinking about who the seller was. I couldn't figure out who it was. Then, was it yesterday or the day before? It arrived. So a lot earlier than what Australia Post said. I opened it up. Sure enough, it was Archie's bird bath. It finally arrived. When I ordered, this one was, I went back and found out which one I ordered first. This one arrived as a green one. The first one I ordered was the blue one. So this was the green one, which I ordered at March, April, May. Over 2 months it took to get here. And I have, I don't know what. So I got a free bird bath. And it's a nice big one. I went on the, Facebook in my group there, and they said, don't worry. I said, it's too cold at the moment for the bath. And one girl said, she's in Melbourne and her budgie likes to have a bath. So I thought, okay. So I put a bit of water in, put in his cage, and you come around later, and he was sitting on, he was drinking it. He did get into it. He threw one of his balls into it. I should have put some in later. I'm trying to get him. I don't have him out a lot because it is cold, and I put him at the front door. It's not that cold. It's got more light there. This one, I made a boo-boo last week. I thought last week was a long weekend here in New South Wales, but this weekend is a long weekend for the Queen's birthday. It's only I know it's in New South Wales. I know. How I discovered this on my phone, it's got all the different dates, different public holidays. That's how I discovered it. And Western Australia has theirs later. So we had got what are we in? June, July, August. We've got one more public holiday in October. That is for Labor Day, long weekend. And then no more till Christmas. I'm not quite sure what that, no, it's not the phone. I'm not quite sure what day Christmas falls on. If Christmas falls on a Saturday or Sunday, that means it's a 4-day long weekend, which is ridiculous. I know when we have Anzac Day, when it falls on the day, that's when we commemorate that day, we get the holiday. If it falls on a weekend day, there's a long weekend, because otherwise the banks and the post office wouldn't get a public holiday if they didn't give them a public holiday. They were crying out for public holiday. So October is our last long weekend for the year. Then we have Christmas. I'm not quite sure what date Christmas falls on. I know what day my birthday falls on. It falls on a Thursday this year. And I'm still thinking what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do. It's spring, so I have to look around. Oh, speaking about the doctor, I couldn't get into my usual doctor, so I had a new doctor. Oh my goodness, she was really nice. I mean, she was the second best female I've actually seen. The first female doctor I've seen was when I was up in Kingscliff, Moolumbar, Dr. Kingscliff. She was excellent. And when I left up there and moved down this way, I actually went and said goodbye to her. And after I seen it, she was excellent, really good. She just looked at it and she knew what this was. She's got to watch because it can burst. I don't think you want to see it. Got to be careful it doesn't burst. And it's a cyst. She said some do, if it keeps coming up and down, she said it can be removed, but then it's even worse because the scar tissue. It's just on the chest part. It's there. That's where it is, just there. And when I left the surgery, I was walking, I thought, I wonder if I can change over to her. But when I got out to the desk, we had to let them know we're going. I said, she is so nice. She said, yeah, we want to keep her. I thought, what? She's only a locum. I think, mate, I would have loved to have her a doctor. She was so good, but then she might, because she's so good, she would have been hard to get into. Don't you love my hair, how it is? That is since I changed the way I wash my hair. That is what happened. When I wash my hair, I get an itchy. Mine might have dandruff, I don't know. That is since, what I do, when I wash my hair, I just comb it that way. And it stays that way. There's no hairspray, nothing of that. I don't put anything on my hair. I just comb it like that. And it stays like that. I'm thinking I'm not going to cut my hair for a while because it's a bit cold. I do wear a scarf when I go shopping. I've actually lost a scarf because I've got two. I've got a purple one and another one. And I don't know where the other one is. I know it's here somewhere. And, oh, cold. It's cold. And we're just in, what's the date? And is it 8th, 9th, 10th, the 11th. We're just into our second week of winter. And we've got till September before we hopefully start to get a bit warmer. The shortest stay, is that this month or is it next month? Something about the 21st or 22nd of, no, I think it's this month. Because the longest day is in December. And the shortest day, I'm pretty sure it's coming up soon. But then again, I'm glad I don't live down in Victoria or Tassie because it'd be so cold. I'm glad because at one stage I was thinking of moving into Armidale inland. I'm glad I didn't because I would never get out of bed. Oh, when I have a shower, I've got the heater in the bathroom. It doesn't heat very good, but get me in. Have my shower, get out. As soon as I wipe myself, on goes my socks, then my slippers. Then I put my nightie. Then I put my scarf around my neck. Then I put my dressing gown on. And then I'm warm. Then I head to bed. It is cold. But last night I was laying in bed trying to feel for the cold part. I don't like flannelette sheets. And I don't like, what is it? Electric blankets because they make it too warm. But sometimes it's like, oh, it's cold. Getting out of bed. It is hard. I mean, it is really hard in this weather. As if I've got to get out because of Archie. I know one day he was quiet all day. He can be so quiet when I don't. Maybe he realised, okay, it's cold. I'm staying here too. I'm not getting out. But budgies, they can handle the cold because they're native to us. They're a native bird to Australia. They are budgerigars. They're not known as anything else here in Australia. Only budgerigars, and that's what they are. That's what they always should be called. He's out there having fun. The other day I was doing something and I didn't latch the gate and he must have pushed it on Leonard and he flew out. But when he flies out, he actually just flies straight to me. I actually had my dressing gown on and I'm so glad I've got this nice warm dressing gown. I brought this, I think on my first trip, one of my trips north. Not long after I got my inheritance, I got it up the place up there. And this nightie, it's not very warm. It's not flannelette. I got this last year online from Best and Less. I thought it was a flannelette one. Not until I got it, I realised it wasn't. And the first one I ordered, I actually ordered the wrong colour. So then I had to order another colour, what colour I wanted. The other one was a dark colour. I don't like wearing dark clothes all the time, especially in the night, all the time. Because I mean, the only time I wear anything else is when I leave in the house. Because at the moment it's too cold. And I took them back when this was last year, and I took it back to Tormina. And I said, you don't have flannel at night? She said, no, I didn't make them that last year. I thought, what? Because the last flannel at night here I got was 3 years ago when I was in Melbourne. I was down there, I think, in the February in Melbourne, and I went to a shopping centre, and there was Best and Less. And I wish I actually had got 4 because I didn't think. And this year, Best and Less don't have any on their website. I've sent them a message via Facebook, so hopefully they will actually get back to me, find out. If not, when I go uptown next, not quite sure when I go uptown, I've got to get more tea bags, which will be at Woolies, because Woolies are cheaper. I know the landlord's supposed to be coming Tuesday between 9:30 and 10. It's going to be cold. Oh, so I've got to get more tea bags. What else did I was going to buy some finger buns from Big W. They had beautiful finger buns, absolutely beautiful, nice and soft and yummy. But they had blue icing on it. I don't like blue icing. The reason why it's blue icing, I realised when I walked in there, it's state of origin. State of origin is rugby league, football here in Australia. They have this every year between Queensland and New South Wales, and they have 3 matches over the period of time. It seems like one was the other night. That's why they had blue icing. I didn't get one because I'm not into football, not into any sport. I don't watch any sport unless it's on a movie I watch it. That's about it. Yeah, unless it's a biography about someone who was a sport. I love biographies. You get to know more about them. I love watching true stories. They are amazing. I love watching all these old shows, especially like Prison and ER. I'm hoping, I went on to, what site? I thought Template is where I watch Prisoner. I was hoping they will have early episodes of Neighbours, but they don't. And it's so ridiculous that Neighbours is being cancelled. This is what I gather is because a channel in England cancelled it. That's all. I don't watch it, but still, this has been going for, I don't know. It's the longest running soap that I think is of Australia, and it's, when you start to watch it, you haven't watched it, you know what you're watching. When you watch other show, Home and Away, you don't know what you're watching. It's just over. There's another thing on my list which came to me last weekend when I was watching things for the Queen's Golden Jubilee. 70 years she has been Queen of the Commonwealth Empire. That is amazing. She is the longest reigning monarch ever. That is so amazing. 70 years. And I watched I started watching something on YouTube the other night. It was actually Queen with Adam Lambert singing, and Adam has got just such amazing voice. Oh my God, he's got this strong, amazing voice. Now I was thinking, what happens? They'll probably only keep going until other band members pass away. But Adam is doing such an amazing job in singing. He has such amazing voice. Diana Ross was on there. Who else? Alicia. I don't like Alicia Keys. I don't like her. And it seems that she sang songs that the Queen requested. There's also another group called Steps. I thought, who were Steps? And I realised they were way back. They're a group from way back as well. And what I loved was what they were doing to the palace. All the actually lighting up the palace when they were singing songs. It was so amazing. I think the kids were getting bored, especially little Louis. What he was doing to his mum. I've seen on Twitter people said, if that was Archie, there'd be uproar over it. But because it was Louis, it was okay. But they were saying that Louis would have been he should have been home. He was getting bored. But the other two were really good, especially Charlotte. When they were on the balcony, they were playing God Save the Queen, and George was on. They had his hand up, and Charlotte said, "George, put your hand down, stand straight." So this is a question which came to mind last week, and it's something that I noticed. I did ask a question on the Royal Channel, but no one answered it. Not even people from the Royal Channel answered it. This is I don't know who will know this answer, but I'm putting it out there. Someone might know of it. The question is, we know all the royal, when they get big, they wear their hats, these amazing hats. Catherine, well, looked amazing. She is such, and you cannot believe she has had 3 kids. I know she's always on the go, blah, blah, but it is so amazing. She has this amazing body. Great. She's going to be a great queen when it comes time. Prince Charlie won't be on the throne long, but then again, you don't know what's going to happen. I'm glad. I was hoping the Queen had lived to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee. You don't know when someone said Charles might go before she does. You don't, what's Charles in his 70s? You don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, and one thing I can't stand is the way people on these social media, think they know what's going on in the royals' head. They think they know what's going on in their life. They think it's just ridiculous. I don't comment anything about this or that. It's just like someone comments something about Harry and Meghan. And I thought, I just comment, and you know this because it's just ridiculous. People think they have an opinion of someone just because they see him in the news. That is the media doing that. That is why Harry got his family out of that, because of the media. And they were complaining, saying how the photo they showed of Lilibet, they reckon it's not her. They said she got too many teeth, and people said they can have teeth at her age. They're wondering why, never wondering why Meghan and Harry didn't show Archie as well. That Kate and William were showing theirs, because Kate and Will will show it, because they are working royals. Them kids will grow up knowing what they are, and they'll be working. The one person out there people would love to be next in line would be Anne, Princess Anne. She does amazing job. She is surely her mother's daughter. She was even in the tripping of it. I wasn't quite sure with her, but later there she actually took her mother's place in that, because of the Queen's age and everything. And it's getting to the stage where the Queen, she's 96, and just getting around she didn't go to the Thanksgiving service they had for her because of her mobility and that, which is understandable. Then she come out onto the balcony. She had this old fellow with her. I thought, who is? I shouldn't say old, because he's younger than what she is. He's in his 80s, I think. He was actually the Duke of, it was Prince Edward, not the Queen's son. This is the Queen's, I think he's her cousin something. He was Edward. He's the Duke of, I don't know. I don't know who the Duke of something. I did a Google. Someone said he was the Duke of York. I thought, no, he can't be, because at Andrew's title is the Duke of York. So I did a Google, and of course he is the Duke of somewhere else. And another thing about the royal family, I'll get to my question in a minute, is that Prince Edward, the Queen's son, he's the Duke of Wessex. And he chose that name because he's seen it in a movie. I'm not quite sure what movie. There was something about Essex in some movie, and that is what he wanted. He will eventually become the Duke of Edinburgh, probably maybe when Charles, I'm not quite sure when he'll become, no, I think Charles at the moment is the Duke of Edinburgh. He took that title when his father died. He's the Duke of Edinburgh, and that's because Philip wanted that title to go to Edward. When Charles becomes king, William will become Prince of Wales, and Catherine will be the Princess of Wales. So, yeah. And when William becomes king, Archie and Elizabeth will have a title. Because look at Beatrice and Eugenie. They are princesses because they are the grandchildren of the Queen. And when I'm mumbling. Or is it when Charles becomes king that they'll get the title? Because even though they're no longer working royals, they are still in line to the throne. And there are some that down the 17th, 18th, 19th in line to the throne. That for them to come anything, it's going to be a catastrophe, especially with Harry. Harry has done what he's done for his best. He's looking after his family. He's got a beautiful family. He's got 2 red-headed kids. I know that someone else commented that's thinking there are people still think that Charlie is not Harry's father. To this day, people still think that he is. That is ridiculous. You tell people, you tell others, and it just doesn't get through their skull. I think, oh, maybe the diary was wrong. It's just ridiculous. Even Hewitt said he's not the father. Just because Hewitt's got red and they look alike, there is no way. People can look alike and not be related. There are people out there that look like they're twins and that they've had DNA testing done and they're not related. So he's got red head from the Spencers. Now, to the question. Finally get there. Hats. One thing I noticed is when the ladies, they always tilted to the right. Is there a reason why the hats are tilted to the right? Does anyone know? I don't. That is why I'm asking. Oh, yeah. Is there a reason why the hair is tilted to the right? Can someone tell me? Does anyone know? Maybe I should have Googled. I didn't think of that. Usually that's the first thing I do is Google if I want to know something. But then, as I said, I asked on the Royal Channel. No one answered. As I said, the Royal Channel hearted my comment, but they didn't answer the question. Maybe they don't know either. They all have it tilted. When it's tilted, but as I said earlier, Catherine looked amazing. Another question, Catherine. When she's called Catherine, it's a C. When she's called Kate, it's a K. Why is that? Why can't Kate Blanchett? Hers is C-A-T-E. Oh, pardon me. Tired. Took a long time to get to sleep last night. Yeah. Yeah, that's something else thing. I'm still exempt, even though I've moved to a new town and everything, I am still exempt from looking for work. I've only got a bit over 2 years before I get the pension. And I thought maybe I should just forget about volunteering and just look for work. But all these new rules are coming in. I don't think it would do me good, because I heard somewhere that they've actually got to spend so many hours looking for work, and you've got to have to actually so many jobs you've got to look for, and you've got to put it down in a diary. And I thought, I'm 64 years old, and I realised my work history has been almost zilch. I've been on unemployment benefits longer than I've been working. And I have put this down to my mental health issues. Because it's one of the things. My first job was working at a place called the Egg and Eye at South Tweed Heads. This was back in 1973. Yes, it's a long time. It was just, I didn't work there long. It was at South Tweed, completely different to what it looks like now. I can still see what it looked like back then. The Egg and Eye was actually, what you could say, a chook farm. It wasn't actually a farm. It was, they had a shop on the highway. I think they also had, no, they didn't sell petrol. They had a shop, and they had chickens out the back where they had hundreds of chickens, where they actually they sold eggs in the shop, and of course they sell roasted chickens and all that. And I worked there. I didn't work there very long, and I was out. I didn't like it. Because you had to work on the cash register. I didn't like it. And you had to stuff chickens. That was okay, you know. I was 16, you know, I didn't know anything. I still don't. What was my next job? I'm trying to think. Was it Woolies? I worked at Woolies in the meat department in Tweed Heads, and they actually had a cafeteria back in the days where they had cafeteria in the Woolies. I worked there in the meat department. Then Coles were opening up in the same shopping centre, and so I left Woolies and I went over to Coles. I don't know how long I was there for until the reason why they put me off was rearranging the staff, which meant I went. Then my next job was, I don't know, I think I was just about to go on the dole, and I applied for a job in Murwillumbah at a laundry. And this is how I got the job, and this is how I actually how I lived in Murwillumbah with my grandparents. I lived I worked at Wright's Laundry for about 2 years. I lived with my grandparents for about 18 months, because then I got my licence and I got a car. So once I got my licence, that I moved back home again so that I could drive to and from there. I was there for 2 years. My next job, I'm trying to think. I was 76. I was there, yeah. So from 73 to 76, I had 3 jobs. Because 76 is when Pop died. And when I went to his funeral, I got doc paid because I took a day off. I didn't ask. I didn't want, because back then, this is something else I want to talk. I was watching Patricia's channel yesterday, and she was talking about on camera, you talk to her, you're okay, but if you come to the house, she's completely different. I'm an introvert. Yeah, shock horror. People say they can't, when I worked at Waratah, I tell them that I was shy. I said, what? But coming into my home, it's completely different. I don't know what to do, what to say, I think I mentioned this last week, how when it comes to socialising like that, I know once I went out to lunch with other volunteers from Waratah, and I was quiet. It's just getting into that position of what do you talk about and everything is just, I'm not there, I'm quiet. It's hard. It's just the way I am. And I'm an introvert, but it depends on how I am with people. I do come out and everything. Which, speaking of, I'm cold. I was warm earlier because I actually, as I said, I washed up, so I was in hot water. And yes, oh, what else? After Wright's Laundry, I know I helped Dad. Dad had 76. I was 19. Our family had a courier business from the Wollumbar Rail to the Gold Coast, and I'm not quite sure when I started doing that for Dad. First we had, what did he have? Had a 1-ton Holden, first deliver parcels. And I delivered them to the Gold Coast. Then I started delivering Gold Coast to the town up near Brisbane called Cleveland, which is also one in America. And I used to when we got a Nissan Irvan, and I used to take this van load of shoes to, what was the name of the shoes? It used to be up at Cleveland. There used to be the shoes. I used to have a van load of shoes just to take up to this one shop at Cleveland. I used to have also parcels. I used to deliver around Brisbane. Lowe's menswear. Lowe's. I know America also has a Lowe's. In Australia, Lowe's menswear is a menswear store. I don't know. I did that until, let me see. I don't know. I think my next job was when I started working aged care. When I got into aged care, I think I was 40. So I was a long time between my jobs, because actually long time between, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm trying to think, from long time between Wright's Laundry and must be a long time. It was a long time, because just finding work when you're not actually trained for anything. I wasn't into computers back then because there was no computers, and I wasn't trained. I didn't do any courses, and it's just, and because I was shy, although doing the delivery for Dad, it did help. And I can remember that there were times when I was sick, which was only when I sprained my ankles. I fell over. I fell off the back of the truck once. I really did. And Dad would have to do it, and he would do deliveries, and they would want to know where's Celys? They would say, oh, Neil's doing our parcels. They didn't know who he was, because they knew me. And I did enjoy doing the deliveries, because out in weather, in the beautiful sun, it was beautiful. I got to know the Gold Coast, and I'm glad it'd be shocking to do it now because I don't like the Gold Coast. I can't remember. The last one at the Gold Coast was, let me see. Did I go when I was up there last year? I was up there February last year, went up to Kingy. I'm not quite sure if I went up the Gold Coast. I can't remember. Actually, no, it wasn't Kingy. I stayed at an Airbnb at Casuarina, although the signpost said Kingscliff. Kingscliff was on the other side of the bridge. Yeah, I think it was about 40 when I started work at Kingshaven Hostel. I did 2 years voluntary work, then I got a job and I stayed, I think I was about 5 years working, and I applied for a permanent part-time. They wouldn't give me anything else, and in the end I decided to leave. Then I had to work for the dole. I was doing I'd actually had done computer jobs by computer courses by this, and I was at South Tweed, sitting in this room doing computer work. Most of the time we're just checking our emails all day. And then my anxiety kicked in, and just catching the bus was a pain. And so I asked if I could change from there to somewhere in Kingscliff, and I found a respite cottage at Kingscliff, and I volunteered there. I'm not quite sure of the year. I was 40, it would be in my, let me see. Of course I was, let me see, what was I? I think I was 48, 49, 51. I think I was about 51, 52 when I left up there to come down here. So I've been down here. 2008 was when I moved down here. So that's 15 years, coming up 15 years. End of 29th of June will be 15 years since I've been down here. And I was working when I moved to Mooloolaba in 2006. I did get into taxi driving up there. That's where, with my ex up there, he was taxi driving, and I actually started taxi driving up there. And then that broke up from my ex, but even though we were broken up, we were still living under the same roof, and while we were still living under the same roof, Centrelink's still classed as being in a relationship, being a couple, which we weren't. He couldn't move out because he couldn't afford it. In the end, I was coming down to Coffs Harbour for a holiday. Then one night, me and him had this big fight. And I realised I couldn't live under the same roof as him. So I said, I'm not going on a holiday, I'm moving. He said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. So I sent an email to the girl I was coming down to see, and I said, I'm moving down. And she said, good. Within an hour, I had a place to live. And I was actually thought of getting a job down here, driving taxis. No, I realised, nah, Coffs is too big. That was June 2008, and it was the following year I realised, I was in a taxi and I realised, yeah, I want to get into it. So I contacted TERSA, and they agreed to pay for my authority to get driving. I got my training, and my first day on the job was the 22nd of November 2009. And I finished there. I wasn't quite 5 years working there when I lost. Yeah, you could say I lost. I didn't leave. I was forced to leave. I took 2 months off my depression got really bad because of the relationship I was in. It got really bad, and I had to have time off. And when it was time to go back to work, sorry, we've got all your new drivers, we've got no shifts for you. So that was it. And that's when I got into volunteering. So that was, let me see, 2009, 2014. So I did 7 years at Waratah. And I really enjoyed it. I did get a reference from him down there. I asked her, would she send me a reference? I got a reference when I get back into it. But I'm actually thinking of waiting until it cools down, because I don't like getting out of bed when it's cold. Especially getting dressed. I could put a heater in. I have got a heater, but it's no good because it's not big enough. It would use a lot of power. So I'm going to, when the landlord comes to actually fix up the fireplace, I'm going to see if he can suggest what I could do, because the only doors that I've got is the front door coming in, the door to the spare room, the door to my bedroom, and the glass door at the front. That's the only door. So having a heater, or door to the bathroom, having a heater, it was better because the lounge room is a lot bigger, and the heat had the kitchen and the laundry to heat up. No way I can close the other two doors up. And speaking of cold, when I got home on Wednesday, of course I wore my thongs, and people looking at me because once I start walking, because it was about 10-minute walk from the doctor's to the shopping centre, shopping world, and I warm up, although I still had my actually coat on, but by the time I finished I actually took off the top layer. When I got home, I slipped my thongs off, walked on the tiles, and oh, they were cold. I'm so glad I brought the slippers. And it was this morning I realised I should have another pair of slippers outside. That way I can go and hang my towel on the line. That way my feet will still be warm going out. So I don't want to wear these slippers outside. So what I did this morning to dry my towel off, because it's so cold, it doesn't dry much. My bed here gets the sun of a morning, so I actually laid my towel on the bed to dry. The sun's gone now, so it's going to be nippy, so I'm going to have to warm up and put Anne and Jane back to bed. I think that's all the questions I've actually want to talk about, especially about the lady hats. Someone, does someone know, know why they always tilt their heads to, not their heads, yeah, their hats to the side, to one side? Is there a reason? Something? I don't know. As I said, I don't know. Someone out there must know. If you don't know, maybe I'll Google. If I find it, I'll let you know next week if I find it. So if you know, comment down below why. So I think I will go and, oh, poor Garfield. He's got to get wrapped up, haven't you? So we were actually, amazing, the baby's room is warm because I actually have it closed up. So there's not much, no. But I walked in there to pick my baby, which I was doing, and it's warm. It's warmer than the rest of the house. But this is like a summer nightie, except it's longer, got the long sleeves. That is this, it's the same material as my summer nightie, except it's got long sleeves and it's cold. I think maybe I should get something else to put underneath it so it's a bit warmer. I used to, years ago, even with a flannelette nightie, I used to put a t-shirt underneath, so just up the arms, keep that a bit warm. So I don't know, maybe a Spencer. I haven't worn a Spencer in ages. That might, but then again, it doesn't get warm up here. I'll have a scarf on. Yeah. Okay, so we will see you next week. So my mug for this week is this one. Cute. So, bye Garfield. Bye. Bye. I'm going to do something. I might do it during the week, add another video, but it's going to be different. I've seen others do it. So there's one So I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I'll let you know when I'm doing it. Give me something to do. So we will see you when I see you. Oh, we've got markets next week. Hopefully the grandma pie lady will be there. If she is, I'll get a grandma pie. And I will get some jam drops. Haven't had jam dropped in such a long time. So please, hopefully, I'll pray that she's going to be there. Hope it's not too cold for her, because she's not a young lady. So we will see you then. Bye. Okay, wait a minute. Jane wants to. Oh. Here's Janie girl. I couldn't find her bonnet. Her hair looks blonde. So people, thank you. If you got to the end of my video, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I was laying in bed this morning, said, will I do a video? It's too cold. I thought, yeah, I warmed up and now I'm getting cold again. Put my dressing gown on, go find my scarf and have lunch. Yes, what am I having for lunch today? Decisions, decisions, decisions. I brought some hot frozen chips and I cooked those. I didn't like them. I should have done that yesterday. Go get some hot, no, too late now. Today's Saturday. So we will see you next week. I know what mug will I have next week? I'd say I've got a lot of mugs. So I've actually got I know there's two more mugs I want to get. I want to get one at Grafton. Have to look around if there's something in Grafton. And I want to get one at Kingscliff, but I don't know when I'll be back up there. Maybe, I've got to somehow I've got photos, but actually I have got photos of the fig tree. I want to put the fig tree on it as the fig tree in the beach. I might work on that. So we will see you next week. Bye. Happy, what's the day? Saturday. Bye. Thank you to those who've got this far. Thank you so much for watching the days of my lives. You know what I miss? I miss my old unit in Coffs, where I could go outside and sit in the sun. Once lunchtime comes, I could go out there, I could warm these old bones up. Here, I got nowhere to go, unless I want to leave the house completely. There's nowhere, unless I want to sit down the back corner. I did my washing the other day, and sitting in the back corner was beautiful. There's nothing to sit on. So we will see you next week. Bye.